Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to Mastering English with Elvin, the place where we don't just learn English, we learn how to use English confidently in real life. And today we're talking about something very important, something that can completely change the way you learn English. The topic is English is a physical sport. Yes, you heard that right. Not English is a school subject, not English is a grammar book, not English is a list of vocabulary. No, English is a physical sport. And if you understand this idea, your English will improve much faster. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who says, I understand English very well, but I can't speak? Or maybe you are that person. You watch movies, you understand YouTube videos, you know grammar rules, you can read English. But when it's time to speak, your brain freezes. Your mouth becomes slow. You forget words. And you feel frustrated. You start thinking, maybe I'm not talented. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe English is not for me. But the truth is, you're not bad at English. You're simply training English the wrong way. Because English is not only a mental activity, English is a physical activity. Just like sport, just like football, basketball, swimming, or boxing. And today I will explain exactly why. Most students learn English like they learn history or mathematics. They sit, they read, they memorize, they write exercises. And yes, that helps, but only for understanding. Speaking English is a completely different skill. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone who watches soccer every day. They watch Champions League, they watch World Cup, they know every rule, they know every player, but they never play soccer. Now one day they go to the stadium and say, okay, I know soccer, I will play like Ronaldo. Will they play well? Of course not. They will run slowly, they will get tired fast, they will miss the ball, they will fall. Because soccer is not knowledge, soccer is training. And English speaking is exactly the same. You can know thousands of words, but if your mouth is not trained, you cannot speak fluently. Because speaking is physical. It is muscle memory. Your tongue, lips, jaw, breathing, speed, rhythm. All of these are physical. And if you do not train them, you will always struggle. If English is a sport, then you need an athlete's mindset. Let's compare two types of learners. The student mindset says, I will learn English when I have time. I will study when I feel motivated. I need perfect grammar before speaking. I'm afraid of mistakes. The athlete mindset says, I train every day, even if it is small. I repeat until it becomes natural. I make mistakes because mistakes are training. I practice under pressure. This mindset shift is powerful because athletes don't wait for confidence. They train and confidence comes after. A soccer player doesn't say, I will start practicing when I feel ready. No, they practice until they become ready. English is the same. You don't speak fluently because you're confident. You become confident because you speak. So if you want to improve your English, stop acting like a student. Start like an athlete. Now, this part is very important because most learners don't understand this. Speaking English is muscular. Yes, muscular. Your tongue is a muscle. Your lips are muscles. Your jaw is a muscle. And pronunciation depends on how trained these muscles are. This is why people can have amazing grammar knowledge but terrible pronunciation. Because grammar is mental, pronunciation is physical. Let me give you a clear example. The TH sound. Words like think, three, through, thank you. Many learners pronounce it as sink, tree, true, thank you. Why? Because the tongue position is different. To say th, your tongue must come forward. But if you never trained your tongue to do that, your mouth chooses the easiest way. It chooses s or t because your muscles want comfort. And this is the same in sport. If you never train your body properly, your body will choose the easiest movement. So pronunciation is like gym training. You must train your mouth. And this is why repeating aloud is powerful. Not silently, not in your head, out loud. Because your mouth must get used to English movements. And let me tell you something funny. Some learners say, John, I understand English, but can't speak. That is like saying, I understand boxing, but I can't punch. Of course you can't, because you never trained your body. So your mouth needs daily practice. Now let's talk about the most powerful word in language learning, repetition. Athletes repeat movements. A boxer repeats punching combinations. A basketball player repeats shooting. A swimmer repeats strokes. Why? Because repetition creates automatic skill. In English, repetition is your workout. If you repeat sentences, phrases, and patterns, your brain starts building fast connections, and your speaking becomes faster. But most learners repeat vocabulary lists like this: apple, book, car. This doesn't train speaking. That is like learning the names of gym equipment and thinking you got stronger. Instead, you need to repeat real speaking patterns, useful patterns, patterns that you can use in real conversations. For example, I'm not sure, but I think. The reason is, in my opinion, let me explain. That is a good question. To be honest, I totally agree. I'm not sure about that. When you repeat these patterns daily, you gain speaking power. This is what athletes do. They don't train random movements, they train useful movements. So if you want fluency, repeat useful English patterns every day. Even 10 minutes a day is powerful. Because consistency beats intensity. Small daily practice is stronger than big practice once a week. Now let's talk about fluency. What does fluency really mean? Many learners believe fluency means speaking without mistakes, but that is not fluency. That is perfection. Fluency is something different. Fluency means speed plus control. A fluent speaker speaks fast enough to sound natural, but also controlled enough to be understandable. Let's compare it to sport. A boxer is fast, but if they punch randomly and miss, they lose. A runner is fast, but if they fall, they lose. Speed without control is useless. Control without speed is slow. Fluency is balance. Now, why do learners speak slowly? Because they translate. They hear a question in English, then they think in their native language, then they translate the answer, then they try to speak. That process is slow and it creates panic. So, what is the solution? You must reduce translation. And the only way to reduce translation is repetition and exposure. When you repeat English phrases again and again, your brain starts thinking in English. You don't need to translate. The sentence comes automatically. So, fluency is not talent. Fluency is training. It is speed built by repetition. It is control built by speaking practice. Now, let's talk about listening. Listening is like cardio. Cardio builds endurance. Listening builds language endurance. At the beginning, listening feels difficult. English sounds too fast. You feel like everyone is speaking at 200 kilometers per hour. You understand one word, then you lose the next 5 words. This is normal because your brain is not trained, just like running. If you start running today, you will feel tired quickly. But if you run daily, your body adapts. Your lungs get stronger. Your heart becomes more efficient. Listening is the same. When you listen to English daily, your brain adapts. Your brain starts recognizing patterns. You start hearing common phrases. Your ears start predicting the next word. And slowly, English stops sounding like noise. It starts sounding like meaning. And here is the most important point. Your speaking depends on your listening because your brain cannot produce what it has never absorbed. If you want to speak naturally, you must listen to natural English. This is why many learners speak like robots because they learned English from textbooks, not from real speech. So if you want real fluency, you must listen every day. Podcasts, interviews, YouTube, movies, audiobooks. Even 10 minutes daily will improve your speaking dramatically because listening gives your brain the correct language model. Now let's address the biggest fear, mistakes. Many learners are afraid of mistakes. They think, if I make a mistake, people will laugh. If I speak wrong, I will look stupid. So they stay silent. But silence is the biggest enemy of fluency. Because if you don't speak, you don't train. And if you don't train, you don't improve. In sport, mistakes are normal. Athletes fail every day. A boxer misses punches. A soccer player misses goals. A basketball player misses shots. But do they stop? No, they continue. Because athletes understand something important. Mistakes are feedback. Mistakes show you what you need to improve. And in English, mistakes are the same. Mistakes are not a sign of weakness. Mistakes are a sign of practice. If you never make mistakes, you are not training, you are hiding. So you must change your mindset. Instead of feeling ashamed of mistakes, you should respect them because mistakes mean you are pushing your limits. And improvement happens only when you push your limits. So the next time you make a mistake, smile because that mistake is your training session. Now, I want to give you a real daily training plan because motivation is nice, but routines change your life. If English is a sport, you need a training schedule. Here's a powerful routine you can follow every day. And the best part is, it only takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Step 1. Warm up. 2 minutes. Start with simple sentences. This wakes up your mouth. It prepares your brain. For example, today I will train my English. I'm getting better every day. I feel confident when I practice. I'm improving step by step. This is like stretching before a workout. Step 2. Pronunciation workout. 5 minutes. Choose 5 difficult words. Repeat them 20 times. Start slow, then go faster. Focus on mouth position. For example, comfortable, actually, through, world, think. This builds pronunciation strength. Over time, your accent improves naturally. Step 3. Sentence repetition. Shadowing. 10 minutes. This is one of the strongest methods. Listen to a short audio clip. Repeat every sentence immediately after the speaker. This trains rhythm, speed, and natural intonation. It is like copying the movement of a professional athlete. Your brain learns natural English music. Step 4. Speaking endurance. 5-10 minutes. Now choose one topic. Speak without stopping. No pauses, no translation. If your grammar is wrong, continue, because this is fluency training. Examples. Why I want to improve my English. My daily routine. My opinion about technology. My future goals. The importance of English. This step builds confidence and speed. Step 5. Cool down. 2 minutes. End your training with a short summary. For example, today I practiced pronunciation and speaking. I made mistakes, but I improved. Tomorrow I will train again. This helps your brain store the information. Now imagine doing this routine for 30 days. Your speaking will improve, your speed will increase, your confidence will grow, because you are not studying English, you are training English. So let's finish this episode with the most important message. English is a physical sport. It is not something you only understand. It is something you perform. And performance needs training. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for perfect grammar. Stop waiting for confidence. Because confidence is not something you find. Confidence is something you build. Just like muscles. Just like strength. Just like endurance. And if you train English daily, even for 10 or 20 minutes, you will improve faster than you think. Because consistency always wins. So ask yourself today, Am I studying English like a student? Or am I training English like an athlete? Because when you train, you improve. And when you improve, you become unstoppable. Thank you for listening to Mastering English with Elvin. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, leave a review, and remember, stay strong, stay consistent, and keep mastering English.